Here's our options for cutting this stuff away. My favorite is just using a sawzall. And actually, if you've seen the other video on reducing weight, this sawzall blade has lasted through the whole thing, which is a miracle. This is my least favorite, and the reason is you gotta watch, because if you bind this wheel up, that thing will come apart and it can hurt you. And then we have this plasma cutter. It's good for what it does. Sometimes you get into spots that it doesn't work well. Sometimes if there's 2 or 3 or 4 layers of metal in a spot, it doesn't work well. And but we're going to use it where we can because it's easy. And then we just got these old hammers in case stuff goes real wrong. We'll hammer and chisel and beat and bang and try and get stuff off there however we can. So we're going to push the old factory stock up and cut the running boards off of it. Because, you know, I'm lazy. Always wear proper eye protection when you're doing this. I think we can come right at this seam right behind it, and let's see what we can do here. I'll see how far I can get with this sawzall in this situation, and then we might have to come back. Kind of a mess getting through all this double, triple, quadruple layer bullshit. This is another thing, all this little dirt and stuff ends up in these crevices. Makes your car heavy. Very small inside layer of that still connected. Zip tying this safety net was not my doing, I promise. It won't go yellowing right. refilled a memory card, and I want you all to be watching when I get to pull this off, if I get to pull it. Let's see what this is like. There's these holes in there. Went around the roll bar, full of mud in places. I got my scale out to measure the stuff. 17, just over 17 pounds. Not a ton, but I mean, that's just lost weight. There will be very little aluminum that even covers where that was, so that's weight gone. And we're going to trim more off at the front and the back. In the end, one of those rockers was 4 or 5 pounds heavier than the other one. I think it was full of mud. It had weird stuff in there too. It had some kind of fur. I didn't want to get into it, just threw it all away. And so by getting rid of those rockers, we also got rid of a place for weight to just amass. Race cars have a funny way of just getting heavier over time. Sometimes it's even water in the tubes. Over time, it just gets in there, if ever welded and sealed completely off or whatever. But mud gets in places, and cars can gain weight just over time. But by getting those rockers off of there, our doors will just come down and cover that, and there'll be no place for that to harbor in there indefinitely. I mean, we'll pick up mud during the night, whatever, but that won't be there to continue to either build or be there or fall out, right? You get your car all scaled and whatever, you go out to race it, the mud's hardened up and manages to work its way out, and so all of a sudden you don't have as much left side as you want. But it's worth the time. I'm just telling you, it's worth the time to take and go ahead and do these things. We are going to, one thing we are going to end up doing is having to fasten that floor down. When I was moving it, when I cut the running board, or when I cut the rockers off, the whole floor tends to move around. So
I got to fasten that down. And we may cut some of it out and replace it with some room. I'll probably leave the tunnel just so I don't have to rebuild that. But anyway, got quite a bit done today in a fairly short time.